Yo, what up, world? It's your boy Neo coming to you from my reality TV, life from my point of view. It is Sunday, I believe, October 23rd, early morning, probably about close to 11 a.m. And I just wanted to take a second out. Hadn't shot a video in a while, and just kind of wanted to explain why that was, and what the hiatus was. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that, well, first, let me say I hope everyone is out there is doing well. Um, Next, just wanted to say like what the hiatus was about, and part of that is actually where I'm at right now. I am in my new enclosed sunroom out back in our new house. So I just wanted to come out here and shoot a little video and just talk to y'all for a minute, put a little bit of something on the channel, and I might do this more often. Just come out here and just have some reflecting talks, things like that. I'm even thinking about doing a new series where I tell some stories about my life and a couple things I've gone through. Nothing too major. I figure I can come share a few stories, make some people laugh, provide some inspiration, stuff like that. But I haven't really been too active and too social since probably about early July. So for the past 3 months or so, um, I've just been kind of low key, really, and a lot of that has to do with just being here, right? Being here in a new house and everything. In July, I think about the middle of July, probably about like the 15th, around that week, I was on vacation at work, right? So we didn't go anywhere, stay home, wasn't, didn't have any big plans. It was just a local home vacation. And during the vacation, we had been looking for a new house because, as everybody knows, so we have three kids, um, two teenagers and an 8-year-old. And in our first house that we lived in, we just kind of outgrew it, right? You know what I mean? You just kind of live somewhere for a while. We lived there for 8.5 years, pretty much since the youngest was born. And we just kind of outgrew it, and we needed more space. And the girls needed their own room and all of that. And, we just felt like we were on top of each other and everything. And again, we just needed more space. So we started looking. So in the midst of looking, I had found a house. I think it was on Zillow, one of them things. I found a house. I hit the wife up and I was like, hey, they got a self tour. So that particular day we actually were going out miniature golfing, taking the kids out miniature golfing and out to eat. And I said, hey, let's go check this house out. And we can go in. We don't have to meet anybody there. We could just go in. They have the lock code. We go in. We see what's up. Check it out. Look pretty nice, right? Because I saw this sunroom, and she had just mentioned like about 2 weeks ago that wouldn't mind having an enclosed sunroom and stuff like that. So I said, all right, cool. So we look at the house, fell in love with it instantly. You know what I mean? Fell in, like, it was instant. And the wife said, um, this feels like us. This feels like our house, right? So, we walked around, we looked, it had everything we both wanted. Like, it's in a cul-de-sac. It has an island. It had this sunroom. It had a big walk-in closet, huge bathroom, and all of that stuff that she really wanted. Had rooms for all of the kids. I even have a little space where I was able to turn it into an office for me for work, since I work from home for the most part, primarily now. And it just had everything. It just had everything we wanted. It fit. It checked just about every box. Just about every box. So we just, we went home, and it was just like on a Wednesday. We went home, and after we did miniature golf and got food, we went back home. We was just sitting there chilling. We was like, hey, maybe we should apply for this. And she agreed, so we did. So we applied for the house. And like I said, that was probably like on a Thursday, and then by like that Friday afternoon, when I was getting off work, they said we was approved for the house. So it's like everything happened so fast, and then we had to move into the house at the beginning of August. So so keep in mind that was like July, probably like 14th, 15th, something like that, and then we had to move into the house in August, like August 4th or something. So everything was just moving at a breakneck speed, and um, that's where we've been. And then, now we're currently in our new house. We are in here in full. It was rough at first because we actually had the two houses. We actually had the old house because we couldn't get out of that lease I mean, we could have, but it would have cost us a pretty penny, which is wild crazy because it was only 2 months left or something like that, like month and a half, something. And we would have had to pay a good amount of money. So we was just like, nah, we'll just go ahead and just pay the two rent. So we had to pay rent at two places. We had to pay bills at two places all the way up until the beginning of this month, being October. So it was a lot. It was just a lot, and it just required a lot of attention. And that's why I really hadn't been, you know, as vocal or as visible online or anything. And even with that, and let me take a second while I'm doing that to thank all of my support system, my support system, my family and friends, for their help and their assistance and everything, and being there for us throughout that time, because we had to put a substantially large deposit down, and we are renting. I know everybody has this thing about renting and buying and stuff like that. We choose to rent, so that's just what we do. So I'm just explaining that as part of the conversation to give the correct layout for everything I'm going to talk about. So we had a really big deposit to put down, which we managed to do. But and in doing that, we just you need some assistance every now and then, because you kind of bleed your accounts to do certain things that you need to do, and we know we needed to move, and it was a great opportunity for us, so we took it. But in that, like I said, we had a couple weeks here and there where it was a little struggle. But you have a great support system around you. You can make it through, and we managed to do that. And it took a lot. But you do things together as a unit, and like I said, we have a great support system. So I'm extremely thankful to all of you for your assistance and for your help, because we don't do this without you. And y'all know me, like, I'm big on that. I don't make moves. I don't become anything. I don't do anything without the help and assistance of the people around me, and in the village, and the support and all of that. And I just want you all to know that I love and appreciate you and all your help. Getting back to everything with the story, part of what I wanted to do today was I wanted to just speak about hard work and perseverance and patience, and the things that you can do and have, with hard work, and how it can pay off. Because to me, every day when I wake up now and I walk out and I look at this house, I just feel like our hard work, excuse me, let me say our hard work. When I say our or I or anything, I'm really speaking about my wife and I, because we do it together. We're a tag team, and I don't do anything without her. I can't do anything without her. Her assistance is golden. I don't accomplish much without her. So but I wanted to speak about, like, the things that you have to do, and sacrifices you have to make. And when I wake up every morning now and I come and I look at this house, and I'm like, I can't believe it. I really can't. It still feels surreal. It's like a surreal feeling, because it's like I never thought that I would have a house like this. I just didn't. And because when I was younger and growing up, I grew up with a single parent. It was just me and my mother. So we didn't have a whole lot. I mean, I didn't know that we didn't have a whole lot, because my mom did a great job with everything. And I'm very thankful and very happy with my life and with my childhood. And I had a great childhood, so don't get that twisted. But we never lived in a house. And I always wanted to live in a house. Like, many of my friends had houses, family members and stuff like that. And I used to go over there at their houses and, like, man, I wish I had an upstairs and downstairs. I wish I had steps. I wish I had a foyer. I wish I had, just those little things that they probably don't even really think about. But, when you live in an apartment, those kind of things that kind of cross your mind. So when I was younger, my Uncle Jeff used to take me to work with him. He used to work for a water metering services company in New Jersey. And he used to take me to work with him, especially like in my early teens, because that's when I really started spending a lot of time with him, due to the fact that I was kind of wilding, and not like wilding in the street, not like that, but just my grades was crazy whacked, and he just was there to help, give me guidance and stuff. So he used to take me to work with him. And my Uncle Jeff had this great way of teaching me things without making them feel like lessons, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, without making it feel like he's lecturing you or anything. So he would take me to work with him. And the times when we would go to work, he would drive. He always worked in these really nice areas, right? Really nice areas. And not even just when he was doing the metering services in Jersey, but also when he moved to Atlanta and he started working and he was installing stereo systems and things like that in people's homes, and he would go to I think one time I went with him to work when I was down here visiting. He went to Tom Glavine's house, the old pitcher for the Braves or something, and he took me with him. And oh my God, this guy's house was beautiful. I think he lived in like the Country Club of Atlanta, or I can't remember the exact location, but it was nice. It was really nice. And but my uncle used to drive around and go to these houses and be like, "Hey man, you like this house? You like this? You like that? You like this neighborhood?" And I'd be like, "Yeah man, this is beautiful." And he'd be like, "Well, you ain't gonna have nothing like this. You getting F's and D's on your report card." He's like, "You got to work hard. You got to do. You got to be better." He's like, "You got to be better than what you're doing, or you'll never have anything like this." And that motivated me, right? And it gave me the focus to say, "Okay, well, I got to work hard to make sure I can get something like that in the future." And so that's what I started doing, and I've always carried that, and even to now, I try to instill those same things in our kids. And my wife and I, we definitely, one thing that we appreciate with this stuff, and like especially like with getting this house and this whole process, was the fact that our kids get to see it in real time. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're here, they're teenagers, and they're experiencing this, and they're knowing this, and we're explaining things to them. We're explaining to them how to properly handle leaving one place and going to another, how to properly handle cleaning up and leaving the place in just as good of condition as it was when you moved into it. And we're teaching them about deposits and things like that, and how the money works. It's just great that we're able to do that in real time with our kids, just like, as I said, like my Uncle Jeff and other people in my family did for me, and to help me to understand certain things. And in that, we're trying to teach them about hard work, about perseverance, about patience. And this house is a prime example of that. So every day when they wake up, they can see, hey, mommy and daddy always tell us this, right? So it's not like we're just telling them things with no result, with nothing to show for it. They can look at these things and say, okay, like, well, mommy and daddy always say this, and we live here, right? And we have this, or we have that, or daddy says, hey, you set a goal for yourself and this and that. He set a goal for himself to become an analyst years ago, like back in like 2005. And then he became an analyst like later on. And we set a goal that we're going to get this house, and we get it. And, because I asked them, even the kids had to exercise a great amount of patience and stuff before we moved, because, I know my daughters, they wanted their own room, and they want this and they want that. And, certain things we couldn't do, but we were able to do because they were patient. They were understanding and everything. And like I said, it's just good to wake up in the morning, us as well as the kids, and walk around and have something to show for the hard work. My father always says, and has always said to me, and I've shared this advice with other people who actually now apply it to their lives. My dad always not even used to say, he still actually says it when I talk to him. My dad always says that, when you work hard all year long, have something to show for it at the end of the year. Don't just work just to pay bills, right? Have something to show for your hard work, something that you can look back on at the end of the year and say, okay, I managed to get that this year. I got this car, or I got this, or I got that, or I managed to do this, or we moved here, or we went here, or we did, have something that you can look back on and say, okay, this year, that this was a successful year because of XYZ, or whatever. And I carry that. And that's what this house represents to me. I wake up sometimes and I'm still in awe, because I'm like I said, it still feels surreal. It's like, wow, this is our house. This is us. It's like, I feel like I'm living in somebody else's house. I feel like I'm at somebody else's house or something like that. But it's not. It's ours. It's our place. And it's just great. It's just great because, again, it's like the hard work we put in, the sacrifice we put in, the patience that we put in, everything that we did, and we managed to get something. We managed to get what we wanted. And I just love, like I said, I love the fact that my kids can see that and everything. And it's just great. And I just wanted to share that as part of as part of our story, because many of you have known me and known us and known our story since the way back. I mean, since, I want to say, like when YouTube wasn't even really popping like that yet, but I was on it, and and I used to do these videos, and I used to show the family and stuff like that. I probably should have stuck with it, because I probably could be making a bunch of money on YouTube. Not that that's the goal, but you never know. But many of you have known us since the kids were like 2 and 3 years old when we first moved to Georgia back in 2010. So, you've been here through the process. You've seen it. You've seen it from the first apartment all the way up to now. So you can progressively know and see that, what I'm talking is real, and hard work and the patience and all of that, and what it takes to go into it. And that's, in essence, that's all this video is. It's just to talk about that, as well as explain the hiatus and things. And I just have just a sincere appreciation for all of it and for everything in my life. And one thing I implore everybody to do is acknowledge your blessings, right? Like many of us, we ask for the help, right? We reach out to whatever you believe in, whatever faith you have, whatever, you tend to reach out and you ask for the help. Hey, I need help with this, or I'm going to leave it in your hands, God, and this and that. But also be sure to acknowledge when you get the blessing, right? Be sure to acknowledge when the come up happens, or when you get the things that you have requested, the things that you have prayed for. Be sure to show the appreciation. Be sure to extend that. Be sure when you're saying your prayers that you're thinking, far and beyond any normal thanks, that, because you have it now. Don't just get it and then just ignore it, ignore the blessing, ignore the thanks, and ignore the appreciation. Make sure you extend that. So, like I said, I just wanted to touch on all of that, man. I won't keep you all too much longer. I know this has been a pretty long video. I also wanted to speak about one quick thing before I leave. Is about the sacrifice part of it too, because sometimes you do have to make sacrifices when you do these things, you make these moves. So for instance, I had to make a huge sacrifice that I hate. I absolutely hate that I had to do this. And it's not, I wouldn't necessarily even say it's like a sacrifice, like a decision type thing, but I had to miss my cousin's wedding. My cousin got married earlier this month. And it was just beautiful. Like, I saw the pictures and talked to my pops and my brother, and the whole thing was just beautiful. But I wish we were there, but we couldn't be, because I remember when it first started happening, and my baby cousin, my baby doll, she hit me up and she was like, hey, cousin's getting married, this and that, think it's going to be in October. And I had to let her know, like, we are in the process of trying to move. So, but I'm going to do everything I can to get there. But, with everything financially and all of that, we just couldn't make it. And I hate that. And sometimes those are things that you unfortunately have to not be able to do, and you have to sacrifice, because it's unfortunate, but that sometimes that's part of the sacrifice. That's part of the painful part of doing it. But I just hope that my cousin and my whole family know that I love them, and I wish I was there, and and they understand the reason why I couldn't be there. So but I'm gonna end that. It's because it's been a while. It's a pretty long video. I might split this up into two, but I just want to give y'all this little quick video, and I hope everybody out there is doing okay, and just keep in mind and remember, your hard work will pay off. Just put the work in. You got to put the work in. No shortcuts, no loopholes. Put the work in. 1.